Brent's Hockey Network. This is the first video of 3, and it took a long time to get it set up because it is the first season ever of the NHL. There was another, Eddie Livingston. He was not liked in the league. He was Toronto's owner. You wonder why they moved so many times and changed their name so many times. That is why. It was hard to get assists in the NHL because they had no red line or blue line. And also because there was no forward passing. But before the NHL was NHL, it was called the NHA, which is National Hockey Association, which isn't much different than NHL, which is National Hockey League. But they had 2 halves of the season. The first half of the season, their records were Montreal Canadiens were 11-4-0. The Toronto Arenas, as they were called first, were 8-6-0. Ottawa Senators were 5-9-0. And the Montreal Maroons were 5-1-5-0 before the burning of their building. What you see over here is Montreal Maroons building caught on fire. So all teams that played them in the first half got a win. So every time one of these teams played the Montreal Maroons, they got a win. So I am probably guessing Ottawa got most of their wins because of Montreal Maroons building caught on fire. But the second half was the Toronto Arenas and that means that the games in the second half got shortened from 14 to 8. So, that's 10-4, by the way, not 11-4. So the second half, the records of the second half were Toronto Arenas getting 5-3-0, Ottawa Senators going 4-4-0, Montreal Canadiens going 6-3-0, and Montreal Maroons were dealing with trying to rebuild, and then saying the stadium, and then quitting the NHL altogether. How fun was that? Not very, for them. The playoff round. Okay, the first round between the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Arenas was a best of score. Both of them got a home game. Toronto won the first one 7-3, and Montreal won the second one 4-3, meaning that Toronto won it in a goals on aggregate of 10-7 because of that first game. Yeah. The second playoff round was between the best team, the team that won Toronto Arenas. So Toronto Arenas gets to go off against the best team of the PCHA. At that time, it's the Pacific Coast Hockey League. It's an association, sorry. It was a different association. In the West, they had a West and an East. The NHL was the East, the PCHA was the West. And so The second round of the playoffs was the Toronto Arenas against the best team in the PCHA, which was the Vancouver Millionaires, who had amazing jerseys, by the way. But the first game was Toronto. They won it away from home, surprisingly. 5-3. Vancouver won theirs away from home 4-6. So it's 1-1. Toronto won theirs away from home 6-3. And then Vancouver won theirs away from home 8-1. And Toronto won theirs away from home 2-1. So Toronto won the series in the Stanley Cup 3-2. Yes. Okay. And then, after that was said and done, they had their dealings with Eddie Livingston. They had their thing with the players. And then they became the Toronto Shamrocks. Changed their name to Toronto Shamrocks. This is it for the first of many history videos. So this is kind of like Hockey 101. But not Hockey 101. It is hockey history. And also goaltenders. I forgot to go to the goaltenders. No restarts. Montreal Canadiens had the best goaltender of the season. He would have got the Vezina, which is George Vezina. He had a record of 12-9-0 and a goals against average of 3.93. They didn't have save percentages back then. They only had goals against average. Toronto Arenas, Harry Holmes had a 9-7-0 record with a 4.73 goals against average. And then Ottawa Senators had Clint Benedict with 9-13-0 record and a 5.12 goals against average. Now, that's the end of your first lesson, or your first history on the NHL video of many to come, because there's been 102 seasons of the NHL. Anyway, this is Brent's Hockey Network. Make sure to like the video if you liked it. Make sure you subscribe if you want more videos. Make sure you hit the notification bell to see when videos go live. And every social media and thing you want to know is down in the description below. So go and see the description below. This is Brent's Hockey Network. See you in the next video.